more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is the show. John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is the show. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm excited for this show. I had an amazing weekend being inducted into the University of Utah Hall of Fame along with all of my brothers on the 2004 BCS Busting Fiesta Bowl Championship team. I haven't seen some of these guys for over 15 years, and if any of you played sports and have ever had experience having incredible bonds and relationships with a certain group of individuals, you might know what I'm talking about. When I saw these guys' faces for the first time in many, many years, our faces lit up. We were reminded of a ton of different stories, most of which weren't even football related, but just great times. And it's so important to have relationships like that. And that's one of the great things about sports. Probably my favorite thing about my time playing sports is the relationships, is the friendships that were made with the other players, with the coaches, and just something I'll never forget. So just wanted to fill you in on that. Before we get to today's topic, I want to offer my 5-day coaching program for free. All you have to do is go to athleticafchallenge.com, put in your email address and first name, and you will be entered and receive 5 free days of coaching where I set the framework for you to truly get the results that you desire. Now, on today's show, it's going to be a fitness-related show. I like to talk a lot about mindset. We've done a lot of mindset shows in the past little while, so I wanted to bring it back straight into the realm of fitness and you getting results. And there's 5 specific reasons, in my opinion, why you're putting a lot of time and a lot of your resources into getting fit, but not getting the result that you desire. And you know this because when you look into the mirror, you think to yourself, damn it, I'm putting in the effort. Why don't I look like that? And that might be scrolling through Instagram, seeing other people's results, and that might be completely unrealistic because a lot of guys and a lot of girls are doing things such as performance-enhancing drugs that you would never do. And so it's important to know what's truly possible and what is not possible for you if you're going to stay on the natural path. But I've also seen it where people have I've been accused of doing steroids and performance-enhancing drugs when people see my picture, and it's 100% false. And so sometimes people let themselves off the hook by saying, that's not realistic, dude's doing drugs, when in fact, it's not true. Being in the fitness industry for a decade, I know what natural looks like. I know what unnatural looks like. There are certain guys or certain girls that kind of push that boundary into a fuzzy territory where you don't know for sure, but don't let yourself off the hook so easily, and don't look at dude that's winning pro card bodybuilding shows and think they're completely natural either. Once again, tangent and story for another day. I don't care if you are natural or not natural. The Athletic AF method is all about performance enhancement naturally. I don't believe in unnatural means to have bigger biceps. That's just me. I just really don't care that much. But I believe in rocking your best physique year around so that you can be proud of yourself and so that you have the most confidence you could possibly have year round. There's multiple reasons why fitness is important, and we've dove directly into how those affect your business, how those affect your relationship, because it affects the way you show up. If you don't feel good about yourself, you show up shitty in business. If you don't feel good about yourself, you show up shitty in your relationship. The one thing I'm most interested in is creating a physiology of excellence. Now, part of that equation is how you feel about yourself, how you look. The other part is how you actually feel. Do you have energy or do you not? If you're constantly crashing and you're constantly battling this feeling of just not having any energy, you get home at night, your kids want to go out and play and you want to crash on the couch, that is not a physiology of excellence. If you can't get your ass out of bed in the morning and you're unmotivated and unexcited to do the work that you need to do to reach the financial goals that you have for yourself, that is not a physiology of excellence. Your fitness directly affects whether or not you're going to hit your financial goals and whether you're going to hit your relationship goals. So we talk a lot about mindset in regards to fitness, into business, in regards to relationship, because without a proper mindset, none of the tactical stuff when it comes to fitness is going to matter that much. But we do need the right strategies. We do need the right tactics. There's a lot of shitty things and shitty ways out there that you can try to get in shape in which you're really just going to spin your wheels, or if you do get results, aren't going to be sustainable. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that are affecting whether or not you hit your fitness goals and 5 reasons you're not hitting them. The first of those reasons is that you have no actual idea how much you're eating on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Most of the time, I go to a party or I go to an event, people know that I've been in the fitness industry for the past 10 years. They've seen me, they've seen the pictures on Facebook. The very first question they ask is what they should be eating. And I go to these events, like I just went to this induction at the Hall of Fame. There was bread on the table. They served us dinner. There was cupcakes. There was an after party with donuts. There was wine. There was beer. And guess who ate all of that? I did. I ate all my food that came out. I had a half loaf of bread. There was a cupcake. I tore open the little cupcake gift box and ate that. There was a donut station. I ate some of that. And there was a bunch of Swedish fish, and I ate a bunch of that, and I had wine. And the point of all this is that it blows people's mind because they're like, what are you doing? They fully expect me to order a salad with chicken and dressing on the side. And they fully expect me to look at that cupcake and not eat it. And they fully expect me to not have any bread or to be paleo or to cut out all carbs or whatever else they think is healthy based on the latest article they read or a book that their sister-in-law gave to them. Now, the hard part of this is what's good for me or what's even doable for me isn't doable for everybody. If I'm 6'5" and weigh 235 pounds and have really low levels of body fat percentage, it's because of the work I've put in over the past 20 years. I have a significant amount of muscle mass. My total daily energy expenditure is through the roof, and I know that right now I'm trying to eat 3,700 calories. So even if I go to the banquet and let's say I go crazy and eat 5,000 calories, I know how to manipulate it in the coming days or the days that came before that or the day of, which is going to not completely obliterate the results that I'm going to get. I have a bunch of leeway. I need you to think about this as money in a bank account. You have a budget. Your budget is number 1, calories. And then if we want to get a little more specific, it's proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. I know what my budget for overall calories is, and I know what my budget is for the individual macro breakdowns. I know when I go over and I know when I go under. And I know what the weekly average is. Therefore, I have a ton of flexibility in how I choose to eat. Most people are focusing on what they should eat, which is a good way to ensure that they're going to have a chance of hitting those goals. But if they just ask that question, they're missing the bigger picture. Because if you eat whole foods and you're eating chicken and you're eating a lot of greens and you cut out a lot of the sugary carbs and you don't eat fast food anymore, if you go from a diet where you're not paying any attention to a diet you're paying attention to solely focusing on whole foods, by default, you're going to eat less calories. But there's going to come a point when by doing that long enough, you're going to hit a plateau because we're creatures of habit. And now all of a sudden, you've lost the 10 pounds, you've lost the 20 pounds, and now you're stuck. In order to break through a plateau, it's not just about what you're eating, it's about how much you're eating. That's going to vary from every single person. It's very, very individual. There's calculations that you can use. There's all types of different philosophies around that. It doesn't have to be super complex. But the way to start is to understand how much you're eating right now and whether or not when you eat that much, your weight goes up or down on a weekly basis. Number 2, second reason you're stuck and not getting the results that you're putting so much effort into getting. You actually have no evidence of actual strength gain. You don't know if you're getting stronger or not. You go to the gym with no plan. Maybe you have a mild plan where you go there and you do the same things that you've done for 10 years. You hit the bench press, you hit a couple dumbbell benches. Your sets and reps are going to be 3 sets of 10, maybe 15s. You're going to do mostly the same exercises, and you're going to choose the weights that you've always done. Basically, your body's adapted to doing that for so long, you're giving it no reason to add lean muscle tissue. So you're going there, wasting your time, wanting to get better, and not pushing past the threshold that's going to make a difference. When I say you have no evidence of actual strength gain, it's because it's not being measured. What's not being tracked isn't being measured. This can be said for reason number 1 as well. You don't know exactly how much food you're eating because you're not tracking it. Also, you don't know how much strength you're building because you're not keeping track of it. And I'm telling you this because you think you're going to remember what you did last week, but then you have a whole bunch of business stuff, you have a whole bunch of family stuff, you barely get to the gym on time, and you get there and you're like, holy shit, what did I do last week? Was it 305? Was it 300? Was it 295? I can't remember. I know this because I do this for a living, and even I forget. We all have these things called smartphones. You're probably listening to this podcast through it right now. Open up your notes and keep track of what you're doing. If your weights aren't going up on a monthly basis, you're not getting stronger. If you're not getting stronger and you're natural, you're not adding lean muscle tissue. If you're not adding lean muscle tissue and losing fat, your body composition is not getting better. What's not being tracked doesn't get measured. What's not getting measured isn't going to improve. The next thing that's holding you back is you restrict, and then binge. And this is a very, very difficult thing. This is very difficult for people who don't get the allotment of calories as a bigger person like I do. If you want to take my wife, for example, and compare her to me, her daily, total daily energy expenditure is way less than mine. That means she has way less of a budget to work with. That means it's way easier for her to go way overboard than it is for me. It's actually pretty hard to eat 4,000 calories. If you do it with a bunch of shitty food, it's not that hard, but it's not like you're going to do that very often. For her, a couple bad choices can throw everything off. So there's kind of 2 ways to go about this. Number 1 If you're going to restrict and restrict and restrict and restrict, you know that it's impossible to sustain a lifestyle like that. So a binge is inevitable. You have to be a little bit flexible. You have to be a little bit flexible. And the problem with binging and restricting is that it's always 2 steps forward, 2 steps backward. How this plays out normally is, let's say that you have a goal of 1,500 calories. And Monday through Friday, you hit 1,500 calories on the dot. Saturday and Sunday, you go a little bit overboard and you smash 2,200 to 2,300 calories on both those days. Nothing even major. Your weekly average is above 1,500 calories. So you're getting yourself out of a deficit and probably right into maintenance mode. So the hard part, if you really want to make progress, is not to think that Monday through Friday is going to cut it and do whatever you want on the weekend. If you get to a point and you're super happy with your body and you want to maintain it, this strategy can work. If you're not happy with your body and you look in the mirror and you want to improve it, you are going to have to not go through this cycle on a weekly basis. If you're great Monday through Friday and you fuck everything up Saturday and Sunday, you're not going to get any result. 5 out of 7 isn't going to cut it. That doesn't mean that whenever there's a social event or you can never vacation, you just have to plan accordingly, and you have to understand that you're not hitting your goals because Saturday and Sunday is screwing you up week after week, month after month. The fourth reason you're stuck and not hitting your results in your fitness is that your goals are vague. They are not concrete. You don't know what you're shooting for. Your goal is to lose inches, or it's to lose weight, or it's to get stronger, and your unconscious mind doesn't even know what that means. Your unconscious is driven by the path of least resistance. If you say you want to lose weight and that's your goal, what is that? 1 pound, 3 pounds, 5 pounds? You don't know. So you have no idea when you're going to hit your goal or if you don't. There's no pain because you're not shooting really for anything concrete. I can't tell you how many times I've done consultations and I've heard people say, it's not really about a number, it's about how I feel. Well, you know what makes you feel fucking awesome? When you have less than 10% body fat and your midsection is shredded. But when you say, it's just about how I feel, it's subjective. Is that energy? Is that how you feel about yourself? What are the parameters? Think about this in terms of money. I want to make more money. Great. Is that when you open your car door and you see a penny laying there? You pick it up, is that more money? Fuck no. You guys know this. But you don't know what your goal really is. It's way too vague when it comes to your fitness. What is it that you want to accomplish? This is the first step that me and my new clients go through. What is the target? What is the goal? What is the time limit? I want to weigh 185 pounds by or before insert date. That means I have 25 pounds to lose. What's the evidence procedure to know that I hit the goal or did not hit it? On December 31st, I'm going to step on the scale like I do every single morning. And that scale is going to show me 184 pounds, 0.4. Then I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to smile my biggest smile because that is a new record and I know that I'm going to be super proud of all the work that I put in. You can close your eyes and visualize this scene play out. What are you going to see? What are you going to smell? What are you going to taste? Are you going to reward yourself with waffles and ice cream? You have to know what the last thing that you're actually going to do to know if you hit that goal or not. Because that's the moment we're shooting for. If I do a photo shoot, I know what the body composition goal is. I know what I'm going to feel, what I'm going to smell, what I'm going to taste. I know all the senses that are going to give me evidence of actually achieving the goal. And that's the moment I'm going to focus on. Because if you don't know, you don't have a chance. If you don't know what the goal is and it's too vague, you do not have a chance. So I wanted to make this show for you, for the person who's getting up, who's putting your time and effort and sometimes money into getting a specific result. And if you're frustrated, if you're wondering why you're not getting the results that you're putting your effort into, it's probably a combination of these things. Number one, you have zero idea the amount you're eating on a daily and weekly basis. Number two, you have no evidence of actual strength gain. You have zero idea if you're getting stronger or not. You're not tracking, you're not measuring, you're not paying attention. Number three, you restrict, and then binge. You're good Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday it falls apart. Number four, your goals are vague, and there's no evidence procedure in place to know when you actually hit the goal or not. I want you to get very specific, and I want you to visualize you hitting the goal. There has to be a time limit in place. You have to focus. And there's one really more important, one more very, very important reason that you're not getting the results you want. And I saved this for last on purpose, because this is the one, and this is the one that I talk about all the time. You choose to be entertained over getting results. Champions do boring. Amateurs do variety. I was driving down the road and I heard on the radio an F45 commercial. Where I'm from, F45 is an up-and-coming boot camp. It's a franchise. They lift a bunch of weights. They're popping up all over the place. Literally, on the commercial, it said over 45,000 exercises. Their exact quote was, "You'll never do the same workout twice." That's ridiculous. That right there is what is wrong with the fitness industry. People are choosing variety, are choosing entertainment because they refuse to be bored with the basics. The most successful people I know in business and the most successful people I know in fitness focus on the boring, basic stuff. Day in and day out, they punch the clock, they get it in, they do the basic stuff, they know if they're getting stronger, they're tracking data, and over time they get better. Amateurs go in, wing a workout, sweat to death, go to the gym the next day, do a bunch of random things. They think they're getting better, but they're wasting their time. If you want results in fitness, focus on the boring basics and master them. Stop choosing to be entertained. If you want to be entertained, go to the zoo or go to the movie theater. If you want fitness because you want results, then make sure you're getting better at the things that matter. The things that matter are the things that we just discussed. If you want help with this, or you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like you need a kick in the ass, go to athleticafchallenge.com. Let me help you for free over the next 5 days. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.